Whenever we're considering whether an annuity makes sense in your financial picture, the first question that we want to ask is why? Why are we considering this product and what need does it fill? Because not all annuities are bad and not all annuities are good. It really depends on the annuity. There are a lot of different customization options that are available when purchasing an annuity. There are qualified annuities, which can exist inside of a retirement account. There are also non-qualified annuities, which exist outside of a retirement account. Most annuities, when you purchase them, have the benefit of tax deferral, so you do not need to pay tax on the assets inside of the annuity until you take them out of the contract. But that can make it more complicated for your beneficiaries if you pass an annuity to someone or if you inherit an annuity from someone, because then when they want to go access that cash in the contract, then they could potentially be facing a pretty significant tax burden. We had one client who in the 2008 recession was very concerned about their investments inside of their traditional IRA, and so they got connected with someone who sold them an indexed, fixed, qualified annuity that had a 10-year surrender charge on it, and it gave them, for their $200,000 investment, a $20,000 bonus inside of the contract. And all of that sounds fantastic. And when that contract was sold to them, it was probably explained to them that whenever the market goes up, that they will benefit from some of that upside when the underlying index does increase in value, but that when the market goes down, that they'll stay flat. And so these products can sound very, very advantageous, and all of that I said is all technically true. But when you look at the product and how it performed, and specifically the cap on the investment, it turned out that over the life of the investment, after they received that $20,000 bonus, that the most that their contract could increase was 1% every year, because it had a 1% cap. And so over the life of that contract, really the maximum benefit that they could receive for the money for their investment was just over 2%. They received exactly what they purchased according to the terms of the contract, but if they were to consider the different alternatives that are available at the time, it might have been beneficial to look at maybe a traditional investment account, or just getting a little bit more conservative, or maybe staying the course even through the market if those are funds that are not needed at the moment. An annuity is an insurance product that is sold by an insurance company that potentially gives you specific guarantees as far as what kind of rate or bonus or return on your cash that you could receive. Some annuities, if they are a fixed, non-qualified annuity that you are receiving income from every month, they might function a little bit more like a long-term CD. Other annuities are a little bit more complicated, where they might be linked to an underlying index that might give you an increased rate of return whenever the underlying index performs well, and it might mitigate some of the risk whenever the underlying index underperforms or goes negative. And so all of those things can be pitched in a way that sound very, very attractive, but the truth on annuities is that if something sounds good, you are probably paying for it in some kind of way, whether that's through a rider or a percentage that is added onto the contract that might add an increased benefit for you that might be appropriate in your financial situation, but it also increases the expense of the contract, which could eat into the returns that you receive on your investment. It's always good to consider your alternatives, and it's always good to be talking with a financial professional who can help guide you through these decisions, because you never want to purchase any kind of product based solely on an emotion of fear, or because something sounds like it is better than it is. Because the financial world is very complicated. There are a lot of different alternatives available. There are a lot of different products available. And so talking through a potential annuity purchase is something that you want to have a guide with as you consider that, or talking through an annuity that you have purchased in the past or have inherited is also another conversation that you want to talk with someone who understands annuities and can help you make the best decisions as you're considering your potential rate of return and the taxes that you could pay. but it's a holistic picture that we want to consider as we look at your entire financial picture. We always want to be making sure that we are making the right decisions for you in your financial situation.